It was a Wednesday, or maybe a Tuesday. The days had started to blend together, each one indistinguishable from the last. I remember staring at the calendar, trying to pinpoint the exact moment when I had lost track of time. It was a strange feeling, like being adrift in a sea of monotony, with no land in sight. Time blurs when you're living someone else's dream. Every day felt like a repeat of the one before, a never-ending cycle of routines and obligations. I walked through the bustling city, surrounded by people who seemed to know exactly where they were going, while I felt lost in my own life. The city was alive with energy, but I felt disconnected, like an observer rather than a participant. I sat at my desk, the glow of the computer screen reflecting in my tired eyes. The screen was a constant reminder of the work that awaited me, the endless emails, the reports, the meetings. My eyes were heavy with fatigue, not just from lack of sleep, but from the weight of unfulfilled dreams. I had become a cog in a machine, performing tasks that held no meaning for me. Papers piled high, each one a reminder of responsibility, of expectations, of a life I hadn't signed up for. The desk was a battlefield, strewn with the remnants of countless battles fought and lost. Each document was a symbol of the compromises I had made, the dreams I had set aside. The weight of those papers was crushing, a constant reminder of the life I was living but not truly experiencing. That's the day I knew. I had to leave. My job was fine. It was more than fine, really. It was everything I had been told to strive for, stable, secure, well-paying, but it wasn't me. It wasn't even close. I realized that I had been living someone else's version of success, not my own. The decision to leave wasn't easy, but it was necessary. I needed to reclaim my life to find my own path. Good, even some might say, stable, secure, well-paying, but it wasn't me, it wasn't even close. I had spent years climbing the corporate ladder, achieving milestones that looked impressive on paper but felt hollow in my heart. The office was filled with people who seemed content, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was meant for something different, something more. Deep down I felt a yearning for something more, something authentic, something real. I longed for a life that resonated with my true self, a life that wasn't defined by titles or paychecks. I wanted to wake up each morning with a sense of purpose, to feel excited about the day ahead. The thought of leaving the security of my job was terrifying, but the idea of staying and never knowing what could have been was even more frightening. I knew I had to take the leap, to trust that the unknown held the promise of something greater. And so, with a mixture of fear and exhilaration, I made the decision to leave, to embark on a journey of self-discovery and fulfillment. It was the day I decided to live my own dream, not someone else's. My days were predictable, each one a carbon copy of the last. The morning commute, the endless emails, the meetings that could have been emails, lunch at my desk, a sad salad and a side of unfulfilled dreams. I wasn't living, I was merely existing, and yet I stayed. Fear, disguised as responsibility, kept me chained to my desk. What if I failed? What if I wasn't good enough? What if everyone else was right and I was just being foolish? But a seed had been planted. A tiny seed of yearning, buried deep inside, refusing to be ignored. It was a seed that had been dormant for so long, waiting for the right moment to break through the surface. It was a seed of hope, of dreams long forgotten, of passions that had been buried under the weight of responsibilities and expectations. It whispered to me in quiet moments, urging me to listen, to remember who I was before the world told me who I should be. I started small. In those quiet moments, when the noise of the world faded away, I could hear it clearly. It was a gentle whisper, a reminder of the person I used to be, the person I wanted to be. It was a call to return to my true self, to rediscover the passions and dreams that had been pushed aside. I dusted off my neglected paintbrushes. They had been sitting in a corner, forgotten and unused, gathering dust. But as I held them in my hands, I felt a spark of excitement, a rekindling of the joy I used to feel when I painted. It was as if the paintbrushes were calling out to me, urging me to create, to express myself in ways I had long forgotten. I wrote in a journal, pouring my heart onto the pages. The words flowed out of me, a torrent of thoughts and emotions that had been bottled up for so long. It was a cathartic release, a way to process everything I had been feeling. As I wrote, I began to understand myself better, to see the patterns in my life, the things that had been holding me back. I allowed myself to dream again, to imagine a life where I wasn't defined by my job title or my paycheck. I let my mind wander, exploring the possibilities of what my life could be. I dreamed of a life filled with creativity and passion, a life where I could be true to myself. I imagined a world where I could pursue my dreams without fear, where I could live authentically and fully. It was a beautiful vision, one that filled me with hope and excitement for the future. I started attending workshops and classes, learning new skills and honing old ones. It was a way to reconnect with my passions, to immerse myself in the things I loved. Each class was a step towards rediscovering myself, a journey of self-discovery and growth. I met new people, individuals who shared my interests and passions. They became my support system, encouraging me to pursue my dreams and reminding me that I wasn't alone. Their stories and experiences inspired me, showing me that it was possible to live a life true to oneself. I created a vision board, filled with images and quotes that represented my dreams and aspirations. It was a visual reminder of what I was working towards, a source of motivation and inspiration. Every time I looked at it, I felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. I practiced mindfulness and meditation, learning to be present in the moment and to listen to my inner voice. It helped me to stay grounded and focused, to tune out the noise of the world and to connect with my true self. I spent time in nature, finding solace and inspiration in the beauty of the natural world. It was a reminder of the simple joys in life, of the importance of taking time to appreciate the world around me. Slowly but surely I began to feel more like myself. The seed of yearning had taken root, growing into a strong and vibrant part of who I was. It was a journey of self-discovery, of reconnecting with my true self and embracing the person I was meant to be. Of course, the doubts lingered, they always do. Voices of reason, or perhaps fear masquerading as reason, echoed in my ears. "You're being irresponsible," they hissed. "You'll never make it on your own." But this time, something had shifted. The fear was still there, but it no longer held the same power. The yearning had grown stronger, more insistent. It was a fire in my soul, and I knew I had to follow where it led. Section 5. The first uneasy steps. Handing in my notice was terrifying. It felt like leaping off a cliff, not knowing if there was a safety net below. But the moment the words left my lips, a weight lifted from my shoulders. I was free. The initial days were a blur of activity. I was building a business from scratch, learning as I went, making mistakes and picking myself up again. It was exhilarating and exhausting, terrifying and liberating all at once. Section 6. A world of color. For the first time in what felt like forever, I was surrounded by color. The gray walls of my cubicle were replaced with the vibrant hues of my own creativity. I was no longer living in black and white, but in a world bursting with possibilities. I was working harder than ever, but it didn't feel like work. It felt like purpose. It felt like passion. It felt like coming home. Section 7. Storms and sunshine. The journey wasn't always easy. There were times when the path seemed almost impossible to navigate, with obstacles that felt insurmountable. Each step forward required immense effort, and sometimes it felt like I was moving backward instead of making progress. The road was often lonely, and the weight of my dreams felt heavy on my shoulders. There were days when self-doubt crept in, whispering that I wasn't good enough, that my aspirations were too lofty, and that I was destined to fail. These whispers were persistent, echoing in my mind during the quiet moments, making me question every decision I had made. The fear of failure was a constant companion, lurking in the shadows, ready to pounce at the slightest sign of weakness, that I should just give up and go back to the safety of my old life. There were financial struggles, moments of loneliness, and the overwhelming pressure to meet expectations. The bills piled up, and the uncertainty of the future loomed large. There were nights when sleep was elusive, and the weight of my choices pressed down on me, making it hard to breathe. The isolation was palpable, and the silence of the night amplified my fears. And the constant pressure to succeed, the drive to prove myself, to show that I could achieve my dreams was relentless. Every day was a test of my resolve, a challenge to push beyond my limits. The effort was exhausting, both physically and mentally, but I knew that giving up was not an option. The determination to succeed fueled me, even when the odds seemed stacked against me. But even on the toughest days, I never once regretted my decision. The moments of doubt and fear were balanced by moments of clarity and purpose. Standing on the hilltop, watching the sunrise, I felt a sense of peace and accomplishment. The small victories, the progress made, and the joy of working on something I was passionate about kept me going. Each sunrise was a reminder that a new day brought new opportunities. Because for every storm, there was sunshine. The storms, with their fierce winds and torrential rains, were temporary. They tested my resilience and strength, but they also made the moments of sunshine even more precious. The sunlight breaking through the clouds was a symbol of hope, a promise that better days were ahead. The rainbow, with its vibrant colors, was a reminder that beauty often follows the darkest storms. For every doubt, there was a victory. Each challenge overcome, each milestone reached, was a testament to my perseverance. The celebrations, the moments of triumph, were sweet and filled with joy. The relief of knowing that I had faced my fears and emerged victorious was indescribable. These victories, both big and small, were the fuel that kept me moving forward. For every moment of loneliness, there was the realization that I was building something real, something meaningful, something entirely my own. The solitude, while challenging, also provided the space for introspection and growth. It allowed me to focus on my goals and to understand what truly mattered to me. The vision board, filled with dreams and aspirations, was a constant source of motivation. Each smile, each moment of passion, was a reminder that I was on the right path, creating a future that was uniquely mine. Section 8, Finding My Tribe. And I wasn't alone. Along the way I found my tribe, people who had taken similar leaps of faith, who understood the challenges and celebrated the victories. They were my cheerleaders, my mentors, my friends. Together, we supported each other, lifted each other up, and reminded each other that we were not alone on this crazy, beautiful journey of pursuing our dreams. Section 9, What will your dream be? So I ask you, what is your dream? What is that quiet whisper in your heart, that yearning for something more? Don't let fear silence it. Don't let doubt hold you back. Take that leap of faith, embrace the unknown. You are capable of more than you know, and who knows, maybe your dream is just waiting for you to say yes.